I heard Dr. Vijayalakshmi Subramaniam at her concert at Hamsadvani, and I was so struck by her unfussiness and simplicity, and yet such a rich Manodharma that I went to your website and did a bit of research, and I found it to be quite a treasure trove. I also read that you love technology. Now that is inevitable in today's world, isn't it?
Right. Technology, I think it's such an important aid. It's really a very welcome tool, and we're able to reach out and do so much more. What you're singing here today can be webcast live, and people all over the world can see it. Tyagaraja Aradhana from Tiruvayur is webcast, and everyone is seeing it live on television, online. And at a personal level, I have worked as a producer on radio, and I love actual hands-on work. So I'm actually very good at audio editing and can do a fair amount myself. And I also teach a lot of children online, as you know, a lot of people are doing it on Skype, and I think it works very well. And the kind of direct connectivity face to face with the Guru, I think this is next best to that.
Now I'd like to come back to the Kshetra Sangeetam concept. We talked about it earlier in the show, but we only touched upon Kanchipuram and Chidambaram. We have 4 other centers, and what struck me as most challenging about organizing these concerts is that you're not looking at the principal deity of these places, but you're looking at all the minor temples, all the minor composers, the essence of that place, as it were. So what kind of work goes into it? I would imagine a lot.
Yes, Anu, you have really hit the nail on the head, because the real challenge is, we are trying to give a proper kacheri in the usual format, but trying to incorporate all these values into it. And then you have so many composers, and I've largely been looking at Vagyakaras only when I'm looking at Kritis. And when it comes to Tevarams and or the Pasurams, devotional hymns, of course I have the liberty to compose the music. And then you're looking at different languages, you're looking at Sanskrit, Telugu, Tamil, even Kannada. And then you're looking at different tempos of compositions. Then like for a kacheri you have a Pratimadhyama, Shuddhamadhyama composition, then different talas, different tempos, and different composers, different periods, and all this you're trying to give it in a normal kacheri format. It is a very big challenge, and I just love doing it.
I know that we don't have the time to talk about each in great detail, but it would be really nice to have you sing one composition from each of these places, your favorites.
Right. And another interesting fact that I'd like to share with you is, how we've just fixed the dates for the Kshetra Sangeetam concerts is like, when the Sabha Hall is available, whether I'm free on that date, and we just fix it. And we like to do it on a weekend because we need more time with the resource person and then the concert. And it's such a blessing, and it's every Kshetra Sangeetam program has been a special day to that deity, which is amazing. I mean, we planned Srirangam, and then when I looked at the calendar on the day of the concert, it says Srirangam Perumal, Vidi Urvalam something. And the latest, I'm going to do Sringeri on 9th of April, and again we just fixed it and we said, okay, what Kshetra shall we do? Okay, let's do Sringeri. That's exactly how it was planned. And now I'm told that is the day of the Sringeri Swamigal's Jayanti. I feel so blessed.
Serendipity, really.
It's really.
So let's start with Srirangam. Can you sing Rangapura?
Right, there's a very, Rangapura. There's an interesting Kannada composition too, if you'd like me to do that. Kangalithyathako Kaveri Rangana nodada Kangalithyathako Kaveri Rangana nodada. It's such a beautiful composition. Yes. I could just go on. And of course, Rangapura Vihara. And well, for paucity of time, I'll move on. And then, Srirangam was a totally Vaishnava
center of worship.
Then Chidambaram was both. But then Tiruvarur again turned out to be a completely a Shaivite, the nature of the compositions. So Dikshitar, he lived in Tiruvarur, and he has composed so many beautiful compositions. One very, a composition that's close to my heart. Sada Chaleshwaram Bhavayeham Chamatkara Purageham Girijamoham Sada Chaleshwaram bhavaye.
It's also unusual that you've only had male gurus. You've not had a single female teacher. Doesn't that sort of affect your pitch and your timbre as a female singer?
Well, I have been very fortunate in that all the gurus, all the male teachers have taught me in my own Shruti. See, that is very important as a student, that you learn to sing in your Shruti. Otherwise, you're not able to sing in a natural voice. So, it just happened that my teachers all happened to be male. But now when I teach, I find it difficult teaching a male student because I'm not able to sing in his Shruti. So then they naturally have to compromise and have to learn in my Shruti. But somehow the male teachers, I think the range of the voice is such that it is not such a great strain, or they're able to overcome it.
And now here's a question I've been wanting to ask all musicians, vocalists, dressing up for a concert, and how important that is, because these days especially, everyone is so resplendently dressed, and it's written about in newspapers and magazines, and
Right.
that a lot of care goes into this. What's your take on this?
Right, it's very important. It's almost as important planning the sari as planning your song list. And you want to come across with the requirements of a presence on stage. I mean, there's a certain amount of grandeur that's associated with this whole image of the artist, and you're virtually on display there with so many people looking at you. So a certain amount of show, some grandeur is required, but I by nature am not very flashy. I tend to underplay it. And also, I have a daughter who is very, very particular about non-violence to animals, and no animal testing, so on and so forth. So of late, I've also stopped buying silk saris. So I go in for artificial silks or silk cottons that have artificial fiber in them. And then of course the jewelry to match. And there's a certain image that you can't move away from too.
But I think the art form itself is so rich that you also can't do it injustice by being too simply dressed. I think it's the whole feel,
Right.
Dr.
Right.
Vijay Lakshmi will tell us about her stint at the Duke University as a visiting Fulbright lecturer. She's also come out with a compilation of the Kritis.
Apurva Kriti Manjari.
Kriti Manjari. So all of that we'll talk about after a short break, and we have two more kshetrams. I didn't want to bring it all into this segment. We have two more to talk about. Stay tuned. You're watching Off the Record.